dedicate your own video to you. I'm making a warning there. Here we go. I love you.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marshall County Today. It's the new talk show aimed at informing you about stories, people, and businesses around your neighborhood. It's an extension of the Max Morning Show, and today we've got a real treat here for you. We've got the production Grease coming up next weekend that we're going to talk about, but we got a young lady here who is actually going to be retiring from Plymouth High School as the teacher. And boy, if you know anything about play productions, drama, equipment setup, and everybody went to Jane Faulstich because she knows all, does all. And I got the bad news that you're going to be retiring, but I've talked her into doing some voiceover work for us. So it's not that bad. No, hey, congratulations,
Thank
young lady.
you. It's really exciting. It's my time, and I have no fears.
Good.
I'm gonna do a little bit of part time at the high school actually next year.
Good.
To help train our new person.
Wonderful.
So.
I got some big shoes to fill. I'm going to say that. I don't mean to boost your ego here, but that's just the fact. And how many years?
29.
29.
29.
Huh? Wow.
And it is a huge program. It is. I mean, I had big shoes to fill when I stepped into it. And so, those shoes were Dan Tyree. And that was huge.
Yep.
So when I was a kid and, he was my theater director, and I was like, dang, I might want his job. I didn't know it was going to come true. And it's amazing that it did. So this is a dream job for somebody. It really is.
And you were able to make it your own too, simply because you had to fill big shoes.
Yes.
Over the years, talk about that. What when you took this job over, what was your vision for the department?
Well, I wanted to do a lot of the same things. Like, number one, Dan created this children's show that we are kind of famous for. And so we have this annual children's show where, the students put together this beautiful short production. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes. And then we get to bus students in, little elementary kids from all over. I mean, some of them are riding on a bus for 50 minutes to come and see our show. And so my students then are their field trip. And so that's it. I did that when I was a teenager. And so, even starting from before that, when I was a St. Mike's kid, I got on a bus and went to the high school and watched a children's show. And so that, when I took over for Dan, I knew there's no way I want anything to change those kind of traditions. So we've kept a lot of that alive because when you grow up loving it, then all you want to do is continue to develop it. Yeah.
As you look at your career, and what technically is your job title right now? Because it sure seems like you're about chief cook and bottle washer when it comes to the entire drama department. And so what is your official title right now as you're retiring?
I would say that I am a theater teacher of both acting and stage crew. But I'm also the PHS auditorium director. So not just theater.
That is huge.
Right. Anything that goes on in our auditorium, I'm there with kiddos to help me run it. So if it's a music production or if it's a community meeting or whatever. So whatever happens in the auditorium. Right.
Has technology made things easier for you as you've gone along?
Can people see this face? Yeah.
Our video can.
I don't like technology. It's not my friend.
No. Nor is it mine. Just like this video. I'm a radio guy and I got to do video here. And so it's like, okay, here we go. Let's just do it and
my
get it over
saving
with.
grace, though, honestly, are teenagers. Like these two that are sitting right in front of me. If I didn't have great teens, then I would be sinking.
Right.
Right.
Well, let's introduce these fine gentlemen with us. And your name?
I am Aiden Ruiz. Good morning.
And I'm Dylan Buchanan.
Well, gentlemen, welcome to the show. What does Miss Faulstich mean to you guys?
I mean, for me, I think she's really just been an inspiration and an idol for the entire time that I've been into high school. I mean, she's really set a precedent of hard work, and I really think that she's somebody that I can look at and just aspire to be like for my entire life.
Yeah, I would agree with that. She's just like probably the best teacher I've ever had personally. She is what got me into acting and got me into the passion, and she's just somebody I think I, as well as others, look up to.
And how many are in your department? How many kids?
I don't know. Like, how many? I think I see over 100 faces every day in my classes, whether it's acting or crew kids.
So is it fair to say, guys, that she's probably 100 out of 100 about what she means to you students?
Oh, definitely.
Of course.
Definitely. I don't think I know one student that hasn't been affected by her on a personal level that's in the department.
That's quite a job you've done. When you get a student that sits here and tells you they'd run through a brick wall for you, how do you do it?
Tony Ross from Max 98. I have a Kleenex in my pocket. I knew you were going to do this to me. But I only have one. I only have one tissue. You can't start me crying right now.
Well, I do this because I see the importance you are to your kids. I get a little teary-eyed too about it, to be honest with you, because you've accomplished so much outside of just teaching these kids and these young minds. And no offense, guys, but your generation has been different than generations in past. That Miss Faulstich here has had the opportunity to bring under her wing. But I think the most amazing thing that you've been able to accomplish to do is get kids outside of their box.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's been, it just seems, and I don't know, you're hearing this for the first time from me, but it seems like that's been your mission. So
I think when students start in the theater program, one of the big things I love to say is, we're teaching communication. Mm-hmm. So communication is theater, and it could be the way that you speak to others, yes, but it can also be the way that you speak to your own team. So, I can talk about communication in an acting class, of course, but I can talk about communication in a stage crew class also. And if we can teach at PHS Theater, if we can teach communication and how these kids can get better and better and more confident in how they communicate with others or for themselves, then aren't they going to go and just smash any profession that they ever choose? I mean, communication is such a huge life skill.
God, I'm getting goosebumps to listening to her. So I can just imagine what it's like having her on a daily basis as a teacher.
I'm a little much sometimes, I think.
Yeah, but it's a good cup of coffee every morning for these kids. Just for example, what are some of the skill sets that? How many years now you've been in theater?
I've been in the theater department for 4 years now.
4 years?
I've been in it for 3.
Okay, so what skill sets has Miss Faulstich been able to bring to you guys as actors that you probably even surprised yourself after it's all said and done?
I think that Faulstich has really just allowed me personally a freedom that I haven't really had before as an artist. I would say that when I'm on stage, I'm comfortable and relaxed enough to try things that might not work, to try things that will maybe be a little much, and having the freedom to go out there and fail, having the freedom to go out there and succeed, it just really it's really useful for me as an artist and as a person. I think it's really important to accept the fact that you are going to fail time and time again, and eventually through your failures you're going to make something work.
Dylan, what about you?
I would just say comfort, being confident on stage. Before acting, I probably had a lot of stage fright, and I was scared to speak in front of people. Like I didn't think I was meant to be an actor. And so when I joined theater arts as a freshman. I didn't expect to go far with it. I just kind of did it as a filler class. But I never would have expected just the love and passion of acting to just get a grip onto me and just give me the comfort and confidence, not only in acting, but just as a person, as a whole. It has done so much for me and so much for others too.
You know, it's funny is because I was in theater too in high school. Imagine that. But it allowed me to be it was allowed for me, just like you mentioned it perfectly, you got a choice. You can be yourself here, or if you got a part, you can separate yourself and just focus on that person who you're supposed to be on in the play. And that's the route I took. I took that route, and what I learned from it is that you can still be you in that part. You know, so I played Mordred, for example, and that was a great part for me because kind of dark hair, Italian look. Sometimes he can give me that mean look every once in a while, but it was such a freeing character that I was able not to necessarily have to be Tony. I was him, and I could develop him. I can, if I really wanted to make him look like a jerk, I can make him look like a jerk. That's what I loved about being part of theater. You can be whoever really you want to be. And you mentioned the freedom word. That's a big word when you're wanting to become a successful actor.
These guys mentioned the failure word. That's tough
to
say out loud, is that it's okay to fail. And I think that's so beautiful because, when you are on stage with us, and I'm going to give a shout out to Charlotte Tyree because honestly, she is my absolute duo. She's my partner. She's my buddy. We push these kids so hard, and we always say to them, we try to always say to them, you know what, you guys, we're pushing you because we love you, and we want you to grow. We want you to grow for us and for your audiences, but we want you to feel that
right.
Personal growth. So we push them, and we always say, you know what, we were very, very, very demanding, but we do it with love. And we always try to remind them that, like, when you are practicing theater and you're there and you're on stage for several hours, and then afterwards you have this short session of notes, let's give them some notes. We try to tell them, you know what, in that, let's say, 10-minute scene that you have, you did 300 things so great, but right now it's notes time, so we're going to focus on the 3 things that maybe let's work harder on. So these kids end up not hearing, there's no time to hear how many great things they're doing. They always, at the end of the night, are hearing, okay, what do I gotta do better? Mm-hmm. What do I need to improve on? And so I think, my gosh, what a huge life lesson, what a huge learning experience that they keep coming back. Even though we're demanding and we're pushing them, they keep coming back, and not all people in the world can. A lot of people take critiques as a personal attack. And so we're trying to teach these kids, critiques are a building block, right? Yep. They're not a personal attack, and you can't say, this is too hard and I think I'm going to quit. And so they don't. I mean, they get back up the next morning and they come back and they want to know the next night, what can I do better? It's impressive.
Yeah, it is. Because it's difficult.
Yes.
Everything you're learning right now that Miss Faulstich and Miss Tyree have been able to teach you guys. Believe me when I tell you, being as old as I am now, they know what they're talking about. And how you handle failure is the key to your success in life.
Absolutely.
Without question.
Right.
And I'm so wonderful to hear this. And I hope there's a lot of other teachers that are going to watch this, rewatch this on the video, because that's exactly what the mission of a teacher should be.
Right, and we just have to remind them, that's our job. Our job is to demand, and to push you, and to push you, and to push you.
Because you'll never know where your limits are.
Right.
If you're not. And you guys have turned out to be some really good actors. That being stated, so how's the Reese production going here? How's the practice going since you're down to your final week coming up? What role do you play, or who's your character, Aiden in Grease?
So I play Kaniki.
Okay.
Yeah. the love interest of Rizzo, if you know anything about Grease.
She's a handful.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that the production is coming along pretty well. We just started Tech Week, which is the first week of in-house rehearsals, and it's always pretty scary. You're down to the final 14 days, and everything is going wrong, you think, but it's really not. It's just a huge production to put on. Some things that are necessary for the set aren't built still, like the car, Grease Lightning, still isn't built.
I'm so glad I'm hearing you
Grease
guys are
Lightning
doing.
is halfway built.
Yeah.
I am so thankful that I'm hearing the same issues that we had back in my day in high school still exist today.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why, because it brings a reality to it. I mean, nothing comes together like it should. Nothing.
No.
So you got to put in a lot of extra time, a lot of extra nights.
So many hurdles to
jump.
jump.
Oh my Lord! That's one thing I don't miss, but I miss the excitement.
Yes.
The juice you kind of get to try to get better. Hey, let's go. We got to pull this off. Come on, quick talk. Let's go.
Right.
Well, I miss that. That's really cool.
Yeah, you can do everything right on paper, but once you get in the rehearsal,
Boy, I'm into that one, man.
it'll go wrong. Something will go wrong.
What about you, Dylan? How's it going for you?
Yeah.
Who are you playing?
I play Danny Zuko,
The love interest of
Sandy. And to be honest with you, it's just, I say this about every show of like, oh, this is just such a fun show to do, but I really mean it with this one. Like, I think this has hands down been my favorite show so far.
Definitely.
Like with rehearsals and stuff, and I'm just so excited to see how it plays out next weekend and how it goes. It's just awesome, from like the performances and the music, Grease Lightning.
Yeah.
We feel like we're rock stars.
both of these young men sitting in front of me, neither one of them have found room to, let's say, take a choir class, but they are busting a hump, and they're both singing. They both have solos. And so they're working to try to not just improve their acting skills, but now they're singing and
Outside the box.
learning. Dylan walked up to me one day and he was like, Miss Faulstich, music is a real new language for me. And I said, that's the perfect way to say it. It is, yes.
Well,
and they're both in stage crew, so not only are they there for me as actors, they are there building things and painting things and creating the scenes. They're all in.
So I want to get to this next part, and this is a lot of part people don't know, but some do, but I don't think they take it as serious as they should, and why it is important to come to the show. You're mentioning all the props and everything that's needed on stage. We're also utilizing kids that want to be part of the backstage.
Right.
It's not cheap.
Right.
For the plays that you actually put on, because you have to pay for them.
Right. We have to pay royalties.
You got to pay royalties.
So we're in the red right now.
Right up. See, this is what I'm saying. So, kind of maybe if you can, maybe do it in a summary fashion if possible. But these plays that we're putting on are not free.
Right.
We have to have an admission because.
Well, we battled that as directors because we thought, okay, this one, to buy the rights to this title was even more expensive than the last time we did a musical. So we were like, ooh, what do we do about a ticket price? Do we raise our ticket price? And so our ticket price right now for next weekend is $8 a ticket for
Which is
any
great.
age. And so we said, do we make it 10? Do we try to do we push a little harder to get out of the red? And then we said, you know what? We can't go 10 because we hope families come. And if you have a family of 4 or a family of 5, that's a huge chunk of money.
Yeah.
And so we did settle on 8, but we are hoping to, of course, get out of the red. But what's exciting is that, yes, we can put on a really great show, and it's only $8 a ticket.
Exactly right.
I do want to say only. I mean, I know that's expensive if you have a big family, but it's really only $8. So I hope that sits okay with everybody.
Well, it will. It only does it when people don't understand the process of why it's $8.
Right. Right.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's why we bring up the royalty thing. Every play you guys decide to do, you're paying some big money for those to
Right.
do it.
Yeah. And this
you know?
one's huge.
And this
Yes.
is a big production. I mean, my gosh, how long does the movie existed now?
Right.
I mean, it's forever.
Yes.
I grew up on it. So it's like I said, I want to bring that up because I want people to understand we're not charging $8 just to charge $8 and we try to make profit. I mean, my
Right.
gosh,
We're just-
if you fill this up, you're probably just lucky barely enough to break even.
We do. We want to break even.
And that's all we're trying to do.
Right.
That's all we're trying
And
to
if
do.
we don't, it's okay. And we talked about that too. We chose this one, even though we knew this one costs more than a lot of other musicals. We chose it anyway.
Right.
We chose it anyway. And I really do think if you come to the show, when it is over, you are going to say, "Oh, that was a
was worth it."
great $8.
Yeah.
That was a great $8." Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So that's next weekend. Now,
Yes.
give me the dates and times on those.
So we are in performance at 7 p.m. on Friday and at 7 p.m. on Saturday. And this is not just an acting show. We have a live orchestra. Our band and orchestra kiddos are
Yeah,
down in
how
the
cool is
orchestra
that,
pit.
man?
Our sound and light kids are there. There's tons of kids backstage in the dark. There are so many kids to come out and support. And this is one thing I really wanted to say, Tony, and this is actually why I brought a Kleenex, but I don't want to cry. I'm going to say it with a lot of, no tears. My favorite part of this whole job, right, are these moments where the show is over and these kids have this curtain call and they bow in front of the audience and it's still dark, right? They're looking out, but they hear all this great applause. And then the lights come up and these kiddos get to run out into the lobby, right? And all these hundreds of people that were clapping for them, whether it's their family and their friends or complete strangers, they come up to them and they say these incredible things. And so as their teacher, as their director, I look at those moments and I think, okay, every stress, every headache, every scare, every non-sleeping moment.
Yep.
Look at them. They are like throwing their shoulders back going, I did it.
Yep.
It was so hard, but I didn't give up. I pushed myself. And these people they think I'm a superstar. It's an incredible moment. And so if you're in the audience, these kids are up on the stage and there are bright lights shining in their face and they can't see you. They can only hear you. So I always encourage, I hope that audiences feel free to laugh out loud and really clap. That's the only thing that they've got is what they hear. They can't see your faces. And so, we've got to make sure that after their production that we tell them that's what life is. Hard work reaps huge benefits and huge moments of self-pride. You're so proud of yourself, these kids, when they're done.
Here's what I miss having a memory. The older I've gotten, the worse it's got. But when I went into it, when I was asked to be part of it, I got to admit, I thought to myself, okay, this is going to be really cool. The only thing that I was scared of was memorizing my lines.
Oh.
And I thought, okay, if I don't, I was really toying with this by not even doing any of it. Because I was that scared that I would screw up a scene because I forgot what my next line was. And so Mrs. Hahn, who at the time was the theater director, just said, hey, listen, treat it like this as a conversation. Okay, keep looking at your scripts. Understand what's happening here. Because sometimes when you're working one-on-one with somebody, you can flub up a line but still pull it off by just maybe saying something a little different, then get on track. So it took a lot of time to do that. I got to admit, when I did say yes to this, Jane, I thought to myself, oh man, I am outside my box here. I am so listen, I'm an outgoing guy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this shut me up because I was that afraid to take this big step. And that's why I can sit here and probably hog up half the rest of this conversation here by how much I enjoyed finding out about myself in the 3 years that I was part of it. because that's something I can sit here at the age of 54 and tell you, I remember it.
Right.
You know, and I remember the one scene, you know, I was, oh, goodness gracious, Bye Bye Birdie, and I was Mr. McAfee. And so I had a wife, and if you remember, there was a kitchen scene where I'm sitting on the chair, and Lisa, who was Mrs. McAfee, was to serve me dinner. Now, we made this authentic dinner. I mean, it was real food. and then the audience wouldn't have known any different. So she brings this TV tray over to me, goes to set it down, and the thing collapses. That's not part of the script. You know, so now you're sitting there, okay, got to do something. So I learned that visual acting can be as important as just learning your lines.
Yeah.
And so I just would stare at the food for a little bit, you know, say, okay, you got to be a little, you know, act surprised yet kind of mad, and they're laughing. I mean, the whole audience is laughing, and I'm back and forth looking at them, looking at this, looking at them, looking at her. She freaked. Lisa freaked. She wasn't quite sure what to do. And so I said, okay, we got to do something. So we had to take an extra couple minutes to clean up the mess.
Right.
You know, and then she starts laughing. Oh my gosh. The worst thing you can do on stage is get into a laughing fit, especially if you know your other partner forgets a line, and then his eyes starts popping out of his head because she's scared to death that she missed the line. And then, I mean, it's amazing. People just don't know how tough acting is.
Right. We talked about that last night when rehearsal was over, and how to help a buddy out, and and those moments are scary. You know what I love though about these guys, like when it comes to live theater, right? You said, you know, how many lines you have to memorize. Well, I'm just gonna guess these guys both have 70 plus lines. They've also got 8 or more songs,
right?
Lyrics that are ingrained in their memory. And but with live theater, not only when they don't, maybe they feel like, ooh, I finally get a breather. I'm not in this, I don't have a line for a few minutes, but they're still on stage, and they know, because we've talked about it, there's so many people out in the audience that their eyes are scanning everyone.
Right.
So we talk about what fun it is to show the audience, even if you don't have a line, how's your character feeling about what is being said or what someone is singing about. And these guys are great at that. So I think that's a really beautiful thing also.
Now, I don't know if this question is going to be necessarily geared for a response by YouTube, but
we have to get them to talk more, though.
Well, I got to say, though, some of the best theater is live theater, because you don't expect the unexpected.
Yes.
And just watch the talent start pouring out on how they react to it. So have you guys kind of experienced that already with the production? You know, or has everybody been on point, and Miss Faulstich cracked the whip hard enough to where it's not wise to miss a line?
You know, there's always a lot of talent in our department for sure. But I think we have a relatively young cast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So for something that comes easier to me, like if there's a moment on stage where something goes wrong and somebody needs to cover, I'm usually pretty good about that because I've had 4 years of messing up on stage to learn how to cover for that.
Right, Aiden, I feel like you stay in character and you handle it and you keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really just observing the world through your character's eyes and applying your past knowledge to that character. I was watching a Gene Wilder interview where he was talking about him reading The Actor Prepares by Stanislavski. And he was talking about how characters are just the amalgamation of yourself and the character. And he was talking about Hamlet. So he said that he was Gene Hamlet. And I think that's
Gene Wilder saying it.
Yeah. And I think that's just a really important sentiment to keep in mind, because even when you're on stage and something goes wrong, something goes wrong in your own conversations in the real world, you're going to cover as yourself, not as somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what pulls off the whole incident. You know. Dylan, for you, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I just like, when I'm up on stage, I'm not Dylan Buchanan. You know, I'm Danny Zuko. And so I put myself in that mindset and I just start thinking like him. You know, Danny is a bit of a interesting guy, you could say.
Boastful and
Buddy,
kinda
you're
cocky.
Danny Zuko off stage too.
So I guess just when the lines are, being said and someone slips up, like, I'm just in the headspace of what Danny Zuko would say. And
go.
maybe me and Danny Zuko are somewhat tied together, but I guess, I don't know, I go up there and I'm Danny Zuko, I'm not Dylan Buchanan. And like Aiden said, it is so impressive. The Greasers, there is 8 of us,
There's 8 of us.
Yes.
and the majority are freshmen and sophomores.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's just so impressive and like almost comforting to know when Aiden leaves and then when I leave next year that acting will be in good hands with these freshmen and sophomores. Like they blow my mind.
Right.
They're all so good.
Definitely. We try to push them to be the best that they can because they haven't had the time and experience that we've had. But I really think that they've risen to the occasion and really taken this show and made it something that's really special.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful production. There hasn't been production that Midas over here hasn't done that hasn't been golden. So
I've had some pretty amazing years. I have.
you have.
I have.
Every year's been, Jane. Quit it. Every year, you guys do an amazing job, and it's. We've been very fortunate here in our community, especially specifically Plymouth, that we've had such a great theater department.
Yes,
definitely.
At your helm, and I don't think you've really had to ask for much that you never got either, because they appreciate what you've done.
Absolutely.
And that's a testament to you. I know you don't want to hear this, but it's a testament to you and the relationship you've had with those when you needed them.
Right. So the first thing that comes to my mind is our administration. Our administration, our principals, our staff. I mean, everybody is so good to us, and they do love the program. It's wonderful. And then I think, wow, when the auditorium got this huge renovation and all this new technology came, and I didn't know how to run it. We have a technology department that is outstanding. That comes and helps, and they teach these kids new things. And so the school, yes, the people in the school are so good to theater. It's wonderful. Ken Olson, oh my goodness, one of our principals. He's probably been in 10 of our shows.
Shout out.
Yeah.
All of our staff and our admin people, they come and they watch, and they then are those people that, like I was saying, go out in the lobby afterwards and they give these kids big hugs, and it's impressive.
Yeah, the support has definitely been there, but it's also been well earned.
Right.
So I mean, that's the other part of all this here, and I know I'm taking you guys taking up too much school time for you, so we're gonna let this one go. But when I found out that you're retiring, I went to Patricia over there and said, I need a date that we can get Jane Faulstich in. Because, whether you want to admit it or not, you've had great kids,
I will totally admit that.
but our kids also need guidance.
Yeah.
And there's just been no one better than you that I've personally have been introduced to, seen work.
Thank you.
There was a lot of passion in what you've done over the 29 years in the theater department.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of giving on your part. A lot of giving.
When I was reading some of the Facebook posts after it was posted that I was retiring, that was some beautiful moments, and kids from my past, and they're not kids anymore, right? They're grown-ups and they have kids, and but I do think I'm so thankful that people keep coming back, because I'm pushy, I'm demanding, But I really do try to always say, it's because I love you.
And it shows. And it's shown over the many years. So, like I said, it's going to be a great production.
Yes.
Friday and Saturday. Are you doing Sunday?
Nope.
No, just Friday, Saturday night.
Right.
And let's send Miss Faulstich out on a great note. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot of accolades coming your way. And that's a little hint to whoever's involved in making that happen, by the way. So I'm going to leave the final comments here to you two guys.
Yes.
What would you like to say to Miss Faulstich here on the air?
Dylan, you
This
can
is
go
your
first.
chance. Just no cuss words.
No.
That's hard for us.
Dylan.
I can go first.
All right, this is Dylan.
I probably will get emotional and there'll be a little lump in my throat probably the Saturday night show. I already get like kind of worked up even thinking about it. But I would always just say, J. Fall, like, thank you. When I went into high school, I didn't really have any passions and I didn't really have any plans for my future. And I was just a slacker. That's just honestly what I was. And I think just through the hours we put on the stage, the dedication that goes into acting, and just J. Fall truly being someone to look up to. She's just gave me that confidence and gave me that life skill.
Love you, Dylan.
For me, I feel like J. Fall has really been almost like a mother figure. I have my own mom, and I'm very grateful for her. Shout out Christy Martindale. But yeah, I mean, during rehearsal weeks, even nowadays in senior year, I'm probably spending more time with J. Fall than I am with my own mom because I have 2nd through 6th hour with J. Fall. Plus rehearsals every night. Yeah. Yeah.
Who's your guidance counselor? Do they know that's a trip?
Yeah. I got to drop principles of culinary arts.
Oh, no.
Principles of culinary arts. Hey, it's really important to learn how to cook.
You see how much you mean to these kids, Jane Faulstich?
Yeah. It's really important to learn how to cook, but my passion is in theater. And I like I've said before, J. Fall has just allowed me the freedom and ability to pursue my passion and grow within that field. And, I've never been the greatest student. I have like a 3.0 GPA. And for most, that's just because I have easy classes this year. Last year was like 295. But it really is just because I put all my effort and time outside of school into theater, into something I'm passionate about. And, J. Fall has just been so loving and kind. And somebody that has really pushed us to be our best within our personal lives, on stage, everywhere we go. She always is just pushing for us to be kind to one another. And put in the hard work that you need to be putting in. And I think that's just something that's made me into the person I am today, for sure.
Well, you're pretty lucky you don't have 100 of these, one of your wonderful students, because it'd be about the same identical thing. And which again is a testament to you guys and what you're able to accomplish. So, on behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your 29 years of teaching our kids how to grow.
Thank you.
How to be a man, how to be a woman, how to represent, how to be loyal, how to be a friend. When you mentioned a little bit ago about just how to be nice to others, if that didn't pin you, I don't know what will.
Absolutely.
For all the years.
That's my number one rule in class, and we laugh about it a lot. I'm like, my number one rule is be nice or get out of my sight. You got to be nice to each other.
And bravo. I mean, there's a lot of parents that don't even do that. And so again, when you bring back to the fact that J. Fall's been like a mom to me, a second mom to me. Yeah, that's just you. That's just you. And, and good luck to the person that's going to follow your shoes. And I pray to the good Lord, she has the same mindset and the same feelings toward her students. And because then, I'll feel a heck of a lot better that this, theater department is going to be very successful, and I'm sure it will.
It will.
I'm sure it will.
We'll find a perfect person.
But just so you know, you are loved, and you've done an amazing job in your 29 years as a teacher. You're what a teacher exemplifies. And so, on behalf of parents who right now don't have the ability to say thank you.
Well, thank you also. It's been the best. It's been the best.
Yeah. So that's Jane Faulstich, and she's going to be retiring. And come support her and her kids with Grease production next Friday and Saturday night at PHS Auditorium, which, by the way, looks really good.
Ooh, it's beautiful and newly renovated.
Bravo.
New sound, new seats.
Yeah. So you get a chance to watch the production very comfortably too, I might add. So there you go. That's next Friday night and Saturday night, a week from tonight and tomorrow. So get it on your calendar so we can support these kids and send Miss Faulstich off on a great note, which is always going to happen anyways. But it's just this is where her passion's at for her kids, and you heard her. So and if you're just jumping in, we're going to have the replay of this interview on our Max 98.3 Facebook page. It'll also be on our new YouTube channel as well. So we'll have the video of this interview with Jane and Aiden and Dylan here, so you can get a chance to recap it. And
we loved coming. Honestly, this is cool. This is a really cool thing about Plymouth, Indiana.
It is.
Yeah,
it
that
is.
we can come here and experience this.
Well, this is tough. This is a tough gig. When you become part of a theater, it's a tough gig. It really is. And to pull it off every year that you've been able to, and you guys in your 3 and 4 years you've been part of it, bravo.
Yay.
Bravo.
Yay.
All right. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next weekend.
All right. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for having us.
Faulstich, along with Aiden and Dylan, her students, and we continue to wrap it up here from Washington County Today after this.
I took way too much time out for you.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I talked forever and ever, and I thought, Dylan and Aiden should be talking. It was great. It was wonderful. I'm sweaty.
I think we're going to put some butts in the seats. So. But jump on our Max 98.3 Facebook page and then share it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I might have to have somebody show me how to do that.
I don't care. Do what you got to do to just share it.
Exactly.
So.
Well.